Here's something that catches a lot of people off guard when they start shopping for a gold IRA. You get a quote, it looks clean, one number, maybe a low annual fee, maybe something the company calls all-in pricing. And for a moment, it feels like you finally have something concrete to work with. Then you get a second quote from a different company, and a third, and suddenly nothing lines up. The numbers don't compare, the categories don't match, and you're left wondering whether you're even looking at the same product. That's not a coincidence. That's how this industry is structured. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why it happens, what the phrase all-in pricing actually means and doesn't mean, and the 6 specific questions you need to ask any gold IRA company before you trust a single number they give you. I want to be clear about what this is and what it isn't. This is not financial advice. It's not a recommendation to buy, sell, or roll over anything. Those decisions belong to you, your tax advisor, your financial advisor, and any other professional who knows your full situation. What this is a framework for becoming a harder-to-fool consumer during the research phase, because that's exactly where most people get tripped up before they ever talk to a professional. Let's start with the core problem. When a Gold IRA company gives you a price quote, they are not necessarily quoting you the same thing their competitor is quoting you. One company might bundle custodian fees and storage into a single annual number and call it all in. Another might show you a low custodian fee and list storage separately. A third might bury their dealer markup inside the metal price itself, so it never shows up as a line item at all. It just quietly inflates the price you pay per ounce. So when you're looking at 3 quotes side by side, you might think you're comparing apples to apples. You're not. You could be comparing an apple, a bag of apple juice, and a photograph of an orchard. The phrase all-in pricing sounds like it should fix this. It implies one number covers everything. But here's the problem. There is no standardized legal definition of all-in pricing in the precious metals industry. Different companies use that phrase to mean different things. Some mean setup fees plus annual custodian and storage are bundled. Some mean their product prices include the dealer markup, but that's separate from IRA administrative costs. And some use it as a marketing term with no precise definition at all. The CFTC and the FTC have both published consumer warnings and taken enforcement actions in the precious metals space specifically because this pricing landscape can be genuinely confusing, and that confusion has historically been exploited. That doesn't mean every company operates this way. Most don't. But it does mean you need to know what to ask. Here are the 6 questions. These aren't trick questions. They're the questions a careful, informed buyer asks before trusting any quote. If a company answers all 6 clearly and puts it in writing, that's a meaningful signal. If they get vague, deflect, or push you to move forward before you have answers, that's a signal too. Question 1. What is the spot price you're using and what premium am I paying above it? Spot price is the current market price of gold or silver per troy ounce as traded on commodity exchanges. When you buy physical gold or silver, you almost never pay spot. You pay spot plus a premium. That premium covers minting or refining costs, dealer markup, and sometimes additional charges. On a meaningful purchase, the premium can be thousands of dollars. Ask the company to show you the spot price they're referencing and the premium amount, either as a percentage or a dollar figure on top of it. If they can't or won't separate those 2 numbers, you don't actually know what you're paying for the metal itself. Question 2. What are all the IRA administrative and custodian fees, and are they flat or scaled? A gold IRA is a self-directed IRA, which means you need a custodian, a financial institution approved by the IRS to hold alternative assets like physical precious metals on behalf of an IRA. Ask specifically, is the custodian fee flat or asset-based? What does it cover? What doesn't it cover? And is the custodian affiliated with the dealer, or are they independent? Question 3. What are the storage fees, and what type of storage is it? IRS rules require that metals held inside a self-directed IRA be stored at an approved depository, not at your home and not in your personal possession. Some depositories charge a flat annual fee. Others charge a percentage of the value of the metals stored. Some offer segregated storage, where your specific metals are kept separately. Others offer commingled storage, where metals of the same type and purity are pooled. Ask what type of storage is being offered, where the depository is located, whether it's segregated or commingled, and what the annual cost is as a specific number, not a range. Question 4. Are there setup fees, transaction fees, or wire fees, and when do they apply? Some companies charge a one-time setup fee to open the account. Some charge a fee each time you buy or sell metals inside the IRA. Some charge wire transfer fees when funds move in or out. These can be small individually, but they add up, and they're often the line items that get quietly left out of a headline quote. Ask for a complete list of every fee that could ever apply to your account. Ask specifically about setup, transactions, wires, and any fees tied to taking a distribution or closing the account. Question 5. What is your buyback spread, and what are the terms if I want to sell? When you eventually want to liquidate metals from your IRA, you'll likely be selling back to a dealer. The price you receive when selling will almost always be lower than the price you paid to buy. The difference between the buy price and the sell price is the spread. A wide spread means you need significant price appreciation just to break even on a round trip. Ask any company you're evaluating, what is your current buyback price relative to spot? Do you guarantee a buyback, or is it at your discretion? Are there fees or penalties associated with selling? Get this in writing. Some companies advertise buyback programs prominently, but stay vague about the actual terms until you're already a customer. Question 6. Can you provide all of this in a written fee disclosure before I make any decision? A transparent company should be able to give you a written document, not just a verbal summary on a sales call, that lists every fee, every premium structure, the storage terms, the custodian information, and the buyback policy. If a company resists putting their pricing in writing or tells you they'll explain everything once you open an account, that's a red flag worth taking seriously. You should never be discovering fees after the fact. Now let's talk about a few responses you might hear, because some companies have practiced answers to these questions that sound good but don't actually answer them. One common response is, "Our fees are very competitive." That's not an answer. Competitive compared to what? You need a number, not a comparison to an unnamed benchmark. Ask again. Another one is, "We use the industry's top-rated custodian." That may or may not be true, and it tells you nothing about what the custodian charges. The custodian's reputation and the custodian's fee schedule are two separate things. Ask for the fee schedule. You might also hear, "Our all-in pricing means you'll never be surprised." Ask them to define exactly what's included in that all-in figure and what isn't. Ask whether the metal premium is part of it or separate. Ask whether transaction fees are included. Get the definition in writing. One more thing worth addressing. Some companies offer promotional incentives, bonus metals or fee credits, as part of their pitch. There's nothing automatically wrong with a promotional offer, but any promotion has terms and conditions. Ask how those terms affect your actual cost and what happens if the conditions aren't met. Don't let a promotion distract you from evaluating the underlying fee structure. Here's the principle behind all 6 of these questions. Asking for written cost clarity before you make a decision is not unreasonable. It's not difficult. It's exactly what a careful person should do when evaluating something that involves real money, real fees, and a structure that can be genuinely complex. Regulatory agencies have specifically warned consumers in the precious metals space to be cautious about vague pricing, high-pressure tactics, and verbal promises that don't appear in writing. These questions are the right move. Before you move any retirement assets, roll over any accounts, or make any purchases, please speak with your tax advisor, financial advisor, or a qualified retirement professional who knows your full situation. The consultation through that link is educational. It is not a substitute for personalized professional advice. Take these 6 questions, write them down, and ask every company you talk to. If a company answers all 6 clearly, in writing, without pressure, that's the kind of transparency worth paying attention to.